Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are on the Blazer build still. This is going to be episode 3. Today is December 2nd, and the weather in Calgary is starting to get a little gloomy. It's probably about 3 degrees Celsius out there right now. I figured I would just take this time to kind of get everyone caught up. Sorry I haven't been posting anything in the last little while. I wanted to be a little quicker on the videos, but had some life stuff come up. I was gone for 2 weeks for my honeymoon, which was an amazing time. And then last weekend, my best buddy from childhood got married. So I was in his wedding party and everything went great. Congratulations, James and Allie. So back to the Blazer build now though. So we're gonna actually head to the shop and pick up the block. It's gonna be the iron block that I spoke about earlier. It's a 6-liter. We're gonna do stock bore. Pretty much all the machine work is done on it. I have to look at the cam bearings still and decide whether I'm gonna pound new ones in or not. But we'll do that once we get back to my home garage here. And the other thing that I want to do that I meant to do earlier was pick up this, well, I meant to scale the Blazer in its current form while we were doing the dyno stuff. But I just ended up running a little late, so I didn't quite make it. So I'm gonna grab the scales, bring it back to my garage, and then we'll scale it and see what it weighs. Probably only lost about maybe 2 liters. So apparently it's not leaking fat. I mean, I didn't catch all of that stuff. Okay, let's get the scales. Actually, well, the scales up on here. Position those as I go down, just to make sure we're in the right spot. Let's turn this on, make sure we got it all zeroed. Guess we'll do a drag. Okay, that's all zeroed, so we'll go down. Now I got a bunch of the actual project stuff in the back of the truck, so I figured that maybe I would explain a little bit more in depth of what we're going to be doing while I unload it. So very important, gotta make sure that you get all the weight off the car. Even one side hanging up a little bit on this frame is gonna really throw your numbers off. Oh, that front right is still a little up. Okay. So I still have all the stuff in it, right? But it looks like we are at 3471. It's not too bad, about 52% on the nose. It's pretty well balanced, really. Okay. So we've got the LS swap pan. For these Blazers, because I'm planning on keeping it 4-wheel drive, Most of the research I could do, the only one that seemed like it was going to work was going to be the Myladin oil pan. Got the bolt. As you can see, basically it's pretty low profile most of the way, and then the sump is very short, I guess you'd call it. So like usually the sump, like say on my Chevelle, will come out to here. But this one, to clear the, I guess the transfer case and steering linkage and everything that's on the underneath this Blazer in the front, they cut it back a lot more. I think that might be something to do with, I'm not sure if the torsion bars, you know, how they link up, if that's going to, you know, be an interference issue. But I am planning on keeping it four-wheel drive, so I got this plan for it. And the torsion bars are going to be limited, so, I mean, maybe I didn't need to do this or not, but it's the easy way to do it, and then I know I'm safe. So, got my ICT Billet LSA front drive, so this is going to be for the accessories. Not the blower drive, so this will be like the 6 rib that runs behind the accessories. This one is set up for LSA, so basically it's like Corvette spacing. Got an intake manifold that is not for this, that's for my Chevelle. We'll get into that on a different day. Got throttle body for it. And this is a box basically just with kind of all the stuff we need for the engine. So this is the covers, that's the oil. Let's bring it over here a little closer. So we got starter, we got front cover, rear cover, oil pan baffle, rings, new oil pump, bearings. So we got main bearings. We're using the male. And these are a fillet bearing. So basically because we're putting an aftermarket crank in it, there's going to be a fillet on the journal. So you have to get a slightly narrow bearing. And then we got a rod bearing, same deal, aftermarket rod, so they're going to have a fillet on them. We got a starter that I brought over from another garage. We got some head bolts, I think I'm doing on this one. Yeah, ARP head bolts. There's been some confusion or a lot of questions about bolts versus studs. I think that studs are definitely superior clamping. The question kind of arises where, you know, basically like what's too much kind of thing. So on these engines, usually you're going to see the head start to lift at around, it's a 4-bolt. I don't know, reliably 1,000 horsepower is fine. After that, you know, there's a lot of factors, but I think that it starts to become a limiting factor. So basically these head bolts, we've used them at the shop quite a bit and haven't really had an issue with lifting the head. So I figured that'll be fine for now. We're not planning on going all out on this thing. Like, I mean, I think the most you'll ever make is 1,000 horsepower. So yeah, we got that. I do have the stock rods and pistons down in here from the engine, but we're not going to be using those anymore. So those can just be kept with the rotating. Maybe use that on a different project someday. Oh, and we got one more piece. So, we've got the balancer here. This was a takeoff of a customer car that he's going a different route, a whole 427 build. So he was able to sell that to me for a decent deal. And that's about it in terms of what's in the back of the Blazer. Just gonna make sure there's nothing else in there that's gonna influence our numbers. Close the gate up, so we're not influencing our bias at all. So as you can see probably on the scale here, even just having the tailgate open will change it a little bit. And so watch this, close that. You know, it's moving the weight around a little bit, not substantially, but it all adds up. So let me just make sure there's nothing else in here. So yeah, you know, this isn't going to be a race weight. Race weight's going to be with fuel and a person in it. But this is kind of a good idea to get an idea of where we're going to be at. So it started out as a 3350, which is pretty good for a little 4x4 Blazer. I'm happy with that. I don't exactly know what the 2.8 liter is going to weigh. I mean, it's getting an iron block. It's this guy here. They're pretty heavy. Like, I know that they're 220 pounds. I've weighed them before. The aluminum blocks usually are about 120 pounds. So we could save more weight there, but I've already got this one ready to go, so I'm not going to worry about that. I think that, honestly, if I could be close to that when all is said and done, that would be pretty good.